Hey, good morning. It's Elizabeth WMT Forever, and sorry about the fan. It's August in southern Michigan. It's hotter than I am willing to be without a fan. So I didn't post last week, and I'm really sorry. But I think you guys will understand why I wasn't able to post, and that I did get some footage after this 29-30 week pregnancy update. So as you guys know from my last video, I got diagnosed after the 1-hour glucose test with gestational diabetes because I got a 202 and I needed to have a 139 or lower. So with my history of having gestational diabetes before with my son, and then after pregnancy developing hypoglycemia, I'm clearly insulin resistant. So that's fun news. But week 29 was okay. I was doing all right, tracking my food intake and my glucose. I did okay with all my numbers except for my fasting numbers. So when I wake up after about 10 hours of sleep, my numbers should be below 90 and above like 60 according to the chart I'm looking at over here, and they are not. They've been ranging from 101 to 121, mostly in the 110 range. So it was not going well, and that happens when you're fasting as a pregnant lady, aka sleeping, because the pancreas is dumping all the extra sugar back into your blood. And from what I can tell, from what the doctor, nutritionist, and nurse practitioner have explained to me, is when my pancreas dumps that sugar back into my bloodstream, it not only raises my blood sugars, but it raises the baby's blood sugars, which is why you have all these big scary things that could happen to you or your baby in gestational diabetes. Okay? So there's that. Now, I also want to say that I did try their diet, and I did try to have whole grains, fancy breads and pastas, the amount of grams per serving or per meal per snack that they wanted, which equaled out to be 175 grams of carbs a day. Previously, except for when I went out to eat and got junk food with my husband, I was only eating about 70 grams of carbs a day, and that was all from vegetables and fruit, mainly vegetables. So you see, the 100-gram increase was not good. And I'm not going to rub it in their faces or do anything like that, but I'm definitely not following their carb recommendations, because my sugars, when I ate like that, spiked above where they want me to have my sugars. And I told my doctor that, and then I immediately changed it so that the reason I would get medication if I needed medication would not be because I was eating like crap, because they're outdated information and they're, let's just be honest, poor recommendation for somebody who's very overweight. You don't tell an overweight woman who's in pregnancy to increase all those carbs. And then I was eating the perfect amount of everything else, pretty much, the fats and proteins. So I was only increasing, and I was already gaining way too much weight as is. And then I gained 10 pounds in a week because of the gestational diabetes diet. And then they had the nerve at the nutritionist office to say, "Oh, you gained way too much weight this week. I think you need to chill out. And I think you need to exercise more." And I'm like, I've exercised more this last week than I have my whole entire life. What are you talking about? Okay? Moving on. They made a poor recommendation to an overweight woman. My doctor and I are fixing that. and my numbers came right back down. So they did not influence, my eating numbers did not influence the next part. So about halfway through week 29, they get my numbers, they see them, and they're like, your fasting numbers are too high. We're gonna need you to come in for medication. So I thought I was gonna get a pill or something. So I come in on day 3 of week 30, and I get prescribed 10 units of insulin every single night at bedtime. I don't want medicine, but I will take it if it helps me and baby girl be safe. However, it is the creepiest thing in the world to poke yourself with a needle in your finger, okay? And at least those are the stupid little pens, all right? So when I went to the insulin appointment, they had a EpiPen looking insulin pen that was about this long and had a covered needle with a button like this little lancet for fingers. What I got was not that. I can see the needle and I have to poke it into my stomach, lined up with my belly button, rotating sides every night. It is creepy, okay? The first night, it was kind of ridiculous. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this to myself. And then I called my husband and I was like, you've got to do this for me. I can't do this to myself. It's too weird to poke yourself. He's like, I can't poke you with a needle. I don't even like needles. I hate needles. So I was like, well, at least stand there for moral support. So now we're both traumatized because we both saw the needle go in. Night 4, last night, totally fine. I'm fine now. I can poke myself in the needle all day long if I have to. But the first night, it was weird. It was trippy. And I know that this is a common pregnancy symptom. Smells are bothering me. The smell of the insulin makes me want to vomit. It's really bad. Like I almost did vomit one of the nights. I don't know which night, but it almost made me vomit. So my schedule has been very hectic. I've had to start eating 6 times a day, track everything I'm eating, track my sugars, now include insulin, email doctors, go to doctor's appointments like with only 2 to 4 hours notice. And I know it's only going to get worse from now out. Like next week, I will be starting my weekly appointments. And then I will have 2 a week, just a few weeks after that. So it's going to get crazy, but I'm trying to keep baby girl in, trying to keep her healthy. She's still moving around a lot, but I can definitely tell it's harder for her to move around. And it's definitely because it's harder for her to move around, it definitely is starting to hurt when she moves. So, yeah. And according to the apps that all these pregnant ladies, including myself, have, 31 weeks is when she's supposed to be about 3.3 pounds. Fun fact, she was about 3.3 pounds about 4 weeks ago. So I can only imagine she's already almost to 5 pounds, which is a good thing just in case she does come early, because it is one of the viability markers for in the NICU. You have to be at least 5 pounds in our state to be able to go home as a baby. So, yes, she might come early, but she's not here yet, okay? And I've got about 3 weeks until the baby sprinkle that my mom and my grandma and my sister are doing for me. So that's really exciting. I'm hoping that helps alleviate the costs that I need, like breastfeeding costs for bottles and such, because as of right now, I'm still planning to go straight back to school, straight back to student teaching, and finish this year. The reason I'm doing this is because if I can just get my degree and be done, I don't have to take a teaching job right away. I'm very blessed with my husband's income pretty much covering everything we need it to cover just by himself. So if I can just finish my degree and stop spending money on my education, I can spend as much time as I want with our baby after my schooling is over. So I just have to finish my final year of college. And I probably will apply for actual teaching jobs because I am a workaholic like my dad. However, if there's not one that I want, or if I don't get offered one right away in our area because I can't really move away, I'm not a single woman, then I won't have to take something that I don't want to take, and I can continue working at the substitute company that I currently work for, Gestational. So I could sub still whenever I feel like it and not have to leave the baby any more than I want to as soon as my degree is done. Nikolai, my son, is going to be starting kindergarten, and he is like, my sister needs to get here before school so I can stay home with her. And I'm like, but your sister can't come before school starts, because that would be dangerous for Sissy. So it's an argument we're having. And it's a playful argument. We're not actually arguing, I swear. But I have to go eat breakfast, otherwise I'll have doctors chirping down my throat and nutritionists getting mad at me. So I will hopefully be more consistent now that I'm getting the hang of all these extra medical things that are going on. And can I just say, I don't know why I got pregnant in a time that I'd be pregnant during the summer. This is awful. Okay, just saying it. Pregnancy hasn't always been something that I have liked. It has always been traumatic for me. In fact, I was diagnosed with PTSD related to pregnancy, infertility, and child loss. So it's been really hard to keep a smile on my face, but it will all be worth it when my baby girl is here, just like it was all worth it when my baby boy got here. So I just want you to all know that even though it all sucks, it's still okay, and it's still a blessing, and I'm still very appreciative, and I know that some people never get this chance. So even though it was very, very hard for me, very, very hard for me to get pregnant and stay pregnant, I am very blessed to be in this position. And I don't take that lightly. Like, oh God, I'm gonna go, I'm crying. I'm causing my hormonal pregnant self to cry. Alright, you guys love me. I love you. Bye.